Welcome to the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. My name is Kaia Ra. I am the author of the Sophia Code and the Oracle for an Ascended Master High Council called the Sophia Dragon Tribe. It is my great honor and pleasure to welcome you to our Solstice 2020 Prayer Collective call. It's so wonderful to see so many familiar names and hearts here on the line this evening. It's always such a joy for me to feel how we have grown as a community over the past 6 years, and especially over this past year. 2020 has brought forward our greatest potential, our deepest faith, our most heart-centered creativity, and we discovered a strength within ourselves personally, individually, but also collectively, that I dare say, if we were to look back at this time, December 2019, and ask ourselves if we were capable of what we found out that we are actually capable of this past year, I don't know if we would have really understood the depth of what was going to be asked of us. I think, and I feel, as no matter how psychic you are, 2020 took us all by surprise by the depth of what it asked each of us to be present with. And from my heart to yours, I want to thank you so much for the courage, for your strength, for your beauty and your grace. Thank you for the radiance of your light. Thank you for choosing to think for yourself. Thank you for every critical thought of discernment that you practiced this year. Thank you for every way that you extended your hands to help others, the ways that you may have practiced compassion for others that you didn't even know you were capable of. Thank you for your generosity towards yourself, most importantly, and then to others as well. Thank you for all the ways that you chose to forgive yourself in 2020. Thank you for every way that you chose to be on your own team in 2020, because that meant you could be even more empowered to be a part of this great angelic mission that we're all serving together side by side. So much has happened this year, and if you're on this call, I want to congratulate you for just the incredible, authentic journey you've been on, the very heroic human journey you've been on this year to embody your sovereignty in an entirely new way, in a lucid, clear, very awake way. 2020 asked nothing less of us. And there are many people in the spiritual community that have been anticipating this solstice as a portal into the age of Aquarius, as a portal into a much brighter time. And I support all positive thinking, and I support the beauty of this moment. Solstice has always been one of my favorite times of the year, both summer and winter solstice. They're some of my most favorite portals of the year. And with that said, it is my commitment to always be very authentic with you, and to understand that this solstice is about gathering your light and gathering a new, and all of the blessings that you have given to yourself this year, to really take stock of the inventory of what the spiritual gold that you have cultivated for yourself this year. Because that spiritual gold, that wisdom, that strength, that creativity, that grace, it's going to carry you through this next year. This next year will also have many creative challenges for us to rise to the occasion. What's interesting about the solstice astrologically is, yes, there is absolutely a Jupiter influence that is causing a massive expansion in consciousness, both personally and collectively, and that feels really good. But we also have a Saturn influence that's creating a simultaneous contraction. So it's important to understand that if you're not feeling some kind of crazy hyped up feeling right now, that's absolutely normal. We are being literally expanded by Jupiter while contracted by Saturn simultaneously. And there's a big reason for that, for the collective awakening. But for you personally and individually, I just want to extend the torch of faith and light and divine love to you and say, hey, whatever you're feeling this evening, this week, it's completely normal. It's completely natural. It's a part of a very big growth curve that we're all on, both this year, but well into next year's also. So I received a lot of messages today from the Sophia Dragon Tribe that I'm really looking forward to sharing with you. That would really be the first message is to understand that this solstice is much more than what we're seeing on the surface, from a lot of different perspectives. There's a deeper perspective to this. Those light workers, such as yourself, who have been spiritually awakening over the past, some of you have been on your spiritual awakening journey for 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years. Maybe you woke up a couple years ago and you've been really doing the inner journey of examining all the crevices of your heart and looking at the different facets of your consciousness. Wherever you're at in your spiritual journey, you have been in the process of awakening. That's how you found yourself on this prayer call. The Sophia Code is a sacred text. It is a movement and a ministry that really speaks to those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. It's not for spiritual infants. It's for those souls that are committed to the awakening of their spiritual maturity. So for anyone on this call, you have been on the path of awakening before this moment, this astrological alignment. This astrological alignment is going to feel like wind in your sails. But for many people on the planet, because there's this interesting combination of a Saturnian influence, it's also going to feel like, for many people, like a massive contraction. So Saturn rules things like overbear. The positive aspects of Saturn can create self-mastery. You can feel a much greater willingness of being disciplined, and really showing up to maybe even tasks that you don't want to do or projects that you need to complete, that maybe you don't necessarily want to, but in the long run it's going to bring a great benefit to others. The darker shadow experiences that we learn from Saturn are, it's the patriarchy, it's the oppression, it's the censorship, it's the mind control and the brainwashing that we're seeing across this planet, where people are literally just handing over all of their civil rights for some false sense of safety and maintaining a status quo. And it's a really interesting time for light workers such as yourself and myself and our community, because what Mother Mary and the Sophia Dragon Tribe and Hathor and all of the key codes were showing me today was, you have to understand in this solstice that you are literally a living bridge of light for millions upon millions of souls that are totally lost at this time. They're anxious, they're afraid. They're so anxious, it's as though they want to get sick to make the story that we've been, told all year long about viruses to come true. We are in the United States, we are facing an incredible divide in our elections and what's unfolding over this next month. Like, you have to understand that your beautiful heart, the love that you bear in this world, to think for yourself, to practice discernment, to see through the words of haters and fear mongers, you are the light of this world. This is the time of year that many religious people celebrate Jesus as the light of this world, and he was and is a brilliant light in this world, but you are that same light in this world as well. This is the shift that we make with the Sophia Code. We understand that the masters who came before us were preparing the way for us to remember that we are masters as well. Now, those were probably just words for many of us up until recently. 2020, everything got super real. Spirituality took on a whole new tone because when you're locked down in your house for months on end, you've got nowhere to go but within to find the peace and the courage and the faith to get through another day and to thrive beyond the outer circumstances of this world. So everyone's journey with their heart, with your spiritual guides, most importantly, with your direct connection to the source became very, very vital this year. They took on a gravity, they took on a breadth and expansion that helped each and every one of us to mature in ways that we didn't even know we had to mature into. We didn't even know we could grow into the people we've become here at the solstice. And I'm feeling from all of the ascended masters this moment that they are inviting us into to really be celebrated by them, to really feel the ascended masters that we honor so much at this time of the year, such as beautiful Jesus, who also goes by the name Yeshua, um, Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene stepping forward at this time in the entire order of Magdalena. And they are coming forward with these beautiful torches of freedom and sovereignty of the Holy Spirit, these sacred flames that are coming together as a trinity to create a much larger flame. And this beautiful trinity of a flame is calling us all forward into tonight's ceremony. To understand that when we are walking with these ascended masters, when we are walking with the angelic ones, the archangels, with our Star Nation families, within the light and fire of source consciousness is the everything. It's the totality of all that is. It's what created us. And it's far bigger than our ideas about what is happening right now. And it's calling us to this sacred flame, this solstice ceremony. And you may hear that call in your heart like music from the angels, beckoning you forward, welcoming you into this evening, gathering with hundreds upon hundreds of light workers around the world to celebrate that sovereign Christ light that you are, that you have always been, and that this lifetime is awakening you to the truth, the realization that you are still this Christ light, that you have come to bring that Christ light into this world. Your soul is a sun, it is a star that exists within your human form. And I'm bearing witness that all of the ascended masters are welcoming you to this ceremony of rebirth, regeneration, self-recognition. And it's an honor for me to be here with you tonight. Thank you and welcome. It's important on this solstice to feel how you are connected to an international community of earth angels, light workers, star seeds, indigos, crystals, rainbow souls, whatever you identify with. You are a part of a community of light, a family of light. We have known each other for thousands of years. We have served on this planet and on other planets together across space and time, supporting the evolutionary awakening of species to their sovereign divinity. It's so good to remember that your family exists both in human form, but in other forms as well, standing side by side with you right here and right now, never leaving you, always seeking to co-create with you. And so at this time, we call in that beautiful circle of empowerment that we love to practice every morning before we even get going in our day. We just very briefly and easily call in that beautiful circle of light that allows for you to stand in your sovereignty, to feel where you begin and end within your body, which allows for you to make very beautiful, heart-centered choices for the duration of your day and your evening, so you can identify what is your highest potential in every present moment. And so we welcome this, your imagination, to visualize a beautiful circle of light. Maybe if you're celebrating Hanukkah or Christmas or any other spiritual pathway, maybe the traditional pagan pathway of the solstice, whatever color is the color of your circle of light this evening. May it celebrate this season of light. Feeling that beautiful circle lighting up around you. And I'd love to welcome White Buffalo Woman to stand in the north with you. The beautiful Winged Isis coming forward to stand in the northeast. Radiant Hathor, who we're going to be diving deep with in January for our New Year's ceremony. The Hathor Ankh of Life ceremony. She's stepping forward with the Hathor Star Nation. In the southeast, I'm welcoming Green Tara and the Order of Dakinis. In the south, I welcome beautiful Mother Mary, and she's showering us with red rose petals this evening. In the southwest, I welcome the lovely Mary Magdalene, her divine masculine counterpart, Jesus, standing behind her, Saint Joan of Arc, and the entire Order of Magdalena. I'm also welcoming in the west, Radiant Quan Yin and the Holy Mahavatar Babaji. In the northwest, I'm giving thanks for the holiest of seraphim, the Sophia Dragons arriving. Oh, they are so beautiful. Their scales are just singing the praises of God, of Sophia. And I'm also welcoming in the north the Order of Sky Grandmothers, the White Buffalo Star Nation. And just feel the harmony and the synergy of all of these different lineages that are represented in the Sophia Code that are asking us to see their original divine feminine source teachings before the rise of patriarchal religions, before we began to classify ourselves into different categories of belief systems or identities. Before all of that, there was simply people that walked the earth that had an intuitive, direct connection to the source. And they spoke from that place. And it was so powerful, it became these lineages and these religions. It became so powerful that the outer world started to do what it wanted with it. But see, that's the interesting thing about Christ consciousness. It is like water, and it will continue to flow no matter what anyone tries to contain it within. We will always be able to trace back through the DNA of beliefs back to the original source points of what these masters of light were really saying. And that's what's happening here in this cosmology of Sophia Christ consciousness or Sophia Buddhic consciousness. We are tracing back to the heart of the mother. And as we do that, what's happening is we are returning back to the source of our own direct connection to Divine Mother, to Divine Father, which is absolutely essential in this lifetime on this particular planet where reality is paper thin. Your direct connection to source is everything. It can guide you beyond the many pitfalls of hatred and jealousy. all of the different constructs that seek to censor or control us, your direct connection to the source has this uncanny creative genius knack of being able to guide you again and again to always be at the right place at the right time, to resource those divine feminine and divine masculine principles within you, where you know where to rest and you know when to take action, when you know when to follow through on an intuitive prompting arising within your heart, when you are willing to listen to the quiet voice within. Those actions that you are co-creating with the ascended masters at this time, with your higher self. That's what's birthing a new world. That is literally what's building hope for others brick by brick. We didn't necessarily come to live in the fullness of the golden age, my friends. We came here to birth the golden age. We came here to gestate it and then give birth to it, to midwife it, to get it through its infancy, to get it through its toddler stage, hopefully. A golden age can last for hopefully anywhere from 1,000 to a couple thousand years. The golden age of miracles is going to be born out of some of the darkest times that we've seen on this planet. And they're happening right now. The golden age of miracles that the Sophia Dragon Tribe talks about in the Sophia Code comes from the inside out. It comes from the golden consciousness that you are choosing to believe in within yourself and your own direct connection to source, beyond the impossibilities of this world. If you want to learn what it means to really be a master, this would be the lifetime to discover that. Right here, right now. As we are surrounded in the grace of our beloved mentors and guides, also welcome in all of the archangels. I welcome all of your spiritual guardians and guides. I welcome in our Star Nation families. And I invite you to fill that beautiful circle of light that you are within with the presence and the holy power of your own higher self, your own divinity, your own brilliant light. And I love usually we visualize this as a waterfall of light, and I welcome you to do that, streaming all the way from the seventh plane, far beyond this planet, beyond the galaxies of form, beyond all the dimensions of different realities, back to the original source point, beyond even all the laws that create physical reality. We welcome your consciousness to abide within that seventh plane, that one light, iridescent light, and that primordial black womb of the Holy Mother. And to stream that consciousness as a waterfall of light, which you already are, coming into full present awareness of it. Your soul as a waterfall of light and consciousness flowing down through your body, down the back of your neck, rolling off your hair, flowing over your shoulders, down your arms, filling your throat, rolling down the front of your chest, filling your beautiful belly and all the way down your lower back. Let's fill every organ of your body with an awareness of the power of your own higher self. Your lungs, your heart, your brain, your kidneys, your liver, your intestines, your pancreas. Feeling that beautiful divine light that you are flowing through your bladder, flowing down your legs, behind your kneecaps, over the front of your knees, flowing down your calf muscles into your feet and connecting you to the very center, the heart of Mother Earth. You may just feel yourself kind of a chiropractic adjustment dropping into your connection with the earth. And I invite you to breathe in your connection with the earth. I was in a very special place over the past few weeks. It's one of my favorite places to connect to the earth. And I just can't say enough about what happens when we breathe with the earth. It can really move energy out of your body that you no longer need. And it can really fill you up with an energy that could be very helpful for you. So let's take 3 deep breaths together and just settle our minds into our hearts. Let's feel the still point. Let's let the still point happen in this moment. I'd also like for you to visualize that this beautiful sun is descending from on high down through your column of light, through that waterfall of light. So you have the holy waters and the holy fire of your soul. And I welcome you to imagine this beautiful sun descending through your crown chakra, past your eyes, scanning your eyes, your pituitary gland, your pineal gland, the beautiful radiant sun flowing through your medulla oblongata, those fiery flames cleansing your tongue from words that you may have spoken against yourself, cleansing your mind of any thoughts that seem to be time looping or repeating, just allowing your presence to become merged with this beautiful sun of your soul. And this sun continues to descend past your throat, lighting up your thyroid gland, moving beyond into your shoulders, filling up the very center of your chest. You may begin to feel that sun expanding and pulsing out, both in front of you and behind you, and to your right and your left. The sun grows bigger and continues to expand, which then causes the solar plexus chakra within the center of your body and your stomach to be filled with the light of God, pulsing, expanding, releasing anxiety and fear, and being filled with the peace that passeth all understanding. We give thanks for this beautiful sun of your own soul, filling your sacral chakra, feeling that beautiful root chakra, expanding the root chakra and sacral chakra temples, so that you can feel how blessed you really are right here and right now. There are so many blessings that have filled your life this year, that have gotten you through this seemingly impossible year 2020. Here we are together, being filled, as you are being filled with the very light and fire and holy waters of your own soul. I invite you to feel that sun expanding out as a toroidal field of light. A toroidal field is when there is, it almost looks like a donut, but it's a matrix of light that you are existing within all of the time. But for the purpose of visualization, you can imagine stimulating your imagination. You can imagine the sun creating this energy, a toroidal energy field where your higher self's light is pouring down through the central column of your vertebrae, your spinal column, from the top of your head to the root of your body. And then you're going to feel that energy flowing back upwards in that toroidal field and that beautiful sun, and then flowing back down your center. And it's creating this regenerative flow of your own higher self, solar Christ light. And I'm also welcoming in a counter flow as well that's rising up with that Kundalini, beautiful, powerful, innate life force rising up simultaneously up your the back, up your back, flooding your angelic wings that are going to unfurl from the back of your heart with the light and fire of your own Holy Spirit, and joining in that turtle field. So there's this beautiful momentum of your precious Christed Kundalini energy flowing upwards and then showering down over your body, heart, and mind. and then going and then flowing back up your spine. Well, there's also this beautiful flow of energy that is radiating from the sun, descending down and then rising back up. And I invite you to connect to the very center of your heart, because there's this beautiful tetrahedron that's being activated within the center of your heart, this sacred geometric form that's beginning to spin in both a clockwise and counterclockwise motion, that's activating your heart chakra and opening up your all of your spiritual light bodies to be upgraded by the Sophia Dragon Tribe on this very powerful solstice portal. This beautiful tetrahedron continues to spin and expand wider and wider, and you can visualize it with this beautiful seraphim blue and golden rays of light that are beginning to open you up. And as we begin to personally and collectively open up to receiving the blessings of the Ascended Masters within every fiber, with every cell of our being, I'm bearing witness to Maha Avatar Babaji stepping forward at this time. He is dressed in all white, and he is coming forward to activate your third eye, the front of your third eye, as Quan Yin is stepping forward to activate your sacral chakra. Interesting. And what I'm hearing is that these are activations of discernment. Quan Yin is working with your consciousness, both your inner child as well as your adult consciousness and layers of your subconscious, to release any belief systems taken on from trauma in early childhood or in other lifetimes that would cause you to believe that you are unworthy of this beautiful light that you are, that would cause you to punish yourself or try to minimize or hide your light to help you feel safe. And she's also working on clearing a lot of the pain and anguish that many light workers have been feeling around the world due to censorship and the masking protocols that have been very challenging for people to have to accept to get the essential needs of their life taken care of. Kuan Yin is bringing this beautiful healing water to our sacral chakra and also to our kidneys to cleanse us of fear and anxiety about what these global experiments have been doing to create the oppression, the perfect storm for humanity to awaken beyond its unconscious enslavement to being told what to do instead of thinking for itself. Kuan Yin is reminding each and every one of us, your role as a light worker is not to transmute the pain of humanity as it's choosing to learn about its awakening through this much oppression. Kuan Yin is saying your role as an embodied way shower is to love yourself so much that you care for yourself and you know where you begin and end, and you know why you came here, which is to radiate the light. It's to be the light, to be this embodiment of divine love. It is to create beyond how people are being told that they are or are not allowed to create. And she's saying it's in these regenerative acts of self-love. It's through the compassionate witness that you're able to bear witness to the evolutionary journey of many without punishing yourself for the journey of others. That's a big one. And what I'm hearing Kuan Yin saying, and also Babaji saying, is like, this is the question that one of the many important questions that we get to sit with in this solstice. Are you ready to lay down the conscious, or it could be unconscious, willingness to suffer for the collective evolution of humanity? There's a good part of humanity that is going to choose to really suffer, continue to really suffer for quite some time. Quan Yin is pointing my consciousness to look at the sun in the sky. She says, the sun continues to shine on all people, whether those people are choosing to live in enlightenment or tyranny, whether they choose happiness or whether they're experiencing great sadness. The sun simply shines its warmth, its fire, its energy towards everyone here. And she's saying on this solstice, which is, a time, a portal that is so connected to the sun, whether it's our relationship as far away from the sun or as close to the sun as we'll be throughout the course of the year, it's all about our relationship with the sun. And as we know, any celestial body in the sky is about our relationship with ourselves. It's mirroring for us an aspect of ourselves. And so this archetype of the sun is reflecting back to us that Christ light that we are, that can shine our blessings, we can shine our love, we can shine our creative genius, we can shine our gifts and our talents, we can be seen, but we don't have to accept the smallness, the meanness, the hatred, or the suffering of others within our bodies or within our lives. The self-sabotage of the angelic of the angelic messengers of this world must end. I'm hearing Quan Yin and Mary Magdalene and Mother Mary speak in unison. We must stop punishing ourselves because that divides us against ourselves. We don't even need to be oppressed. We are already internalizing the oppressor when we allow that to happen. And so let's allow this activation from Quan Yin and Babaji to go as deep into your soul as you will let it flow, as you will allow it to integrate today. Just breathing into that radiant sunlight within your sacral chakra, which is, of course, the center of your relationships with others, what you are magnetizing to yourself, what you are repelling from yourself, what you feel worthy of receiving, what you are ready to birth or create or call forward or release. How is the consciousness of that sun, that Christed sunlight of your soul, how can it fill the sacral chakra within you right now? What would this sun seek to shine upon in your life to warm and create new life and new growth in 2021? How would the arms of the sun reach out through your sacral chakra so that you could allow for the expansion of the blessings that are already here for you, that you're already living with, that you're already receiving? How could that sun grow and expand the blessed country of your presence here in this world? How are you ready to expand as a radiant sun in human form? And what's so interesting for me is I love it when I love the different key code combinations of healing and empowerment, and Hathor is stepping forward. And one of my favorite Ascended Master combinations for healing and quantum healing and quantum empowerment of manifestation is Quan Yin and Hathor. And Hathor is arriving, she's stepping forward in this space with Quan Yin and Mahavatar Babaji, and she is activating your throat and your heart with this beautiful, like turquoise blue color that has these gold flames within it. It's like turquoise and light blue with these beautiful gold flames. I'm seeing many of these flames just lining up along your throat chakra. And then the flames are descending into your heart. And she's activating these beautiful turquoise waters within your heart as well. And Hathor is singing over your throat chakra and your heart chakra, into this chakra that exists between the heart and the throat. It's called the high heart center. It's also a soul star center. And you may begin to feel that area right around where your thyroid is expanding into this beautiful aquamarine light. And those gold flames just dropping down, spinning down all the way through the high heart center into the heart chakra. Okay, and this is where Hathor wants me to share some of what was coming through for me earlier this today in preparation for tonight's call. And she was saying it's important to understand that many of the manifestation techniques that we are using right now on the planet, she says they're good, but they're not even close to how you can truly co-create through form, how you can truly manifest in a way that goes so far beyond what most people on this planet have experienced. And Hathor is sharing that this is her first kind of activation to prepare us for her ceremony in the first week of January, the Yank of Life ceremony. She's stepping forward because she's saying this is a multi-step activation for our community. And she's asking for you to understand that in 2021, there's going to be such an enormous amount of both chaos and a reordering of, and what gets reordered out of the chaos, that how we are accustomed to manifesting is going to feel very, very different. She's saying what's important in 2021 and also right now for you to begin seeding your consciousness with the understanding that the prayer is always to ask for what is in your highest and best good, what is in your highest potential, and what is in the highest and best good for all. It's not necessarily about manifesting a specific, visualizing a specific outcome, because what we are experiencing right now is a complete breaking down into a more fluid state of communion. And when everything that is not real, that is an illusion, is breaking down, both in our physical and emotional and spiritual reality, the way to stay in alignment and to stay within your success is to stay fluid. I offered a prayer from the Sophia Dragon Tribe at the beginning of 2020, and that prayer was, I am always in the right place at the right time. And that's going to continue to be an important prayer for 2021. But I also received a very clear understanding today in preparation for this call. If you are seeking to manifest a relationship, a new line of work, if you are seeking to create greater abundance or a new location, many people are being guided to new locations right now. Please, if you've been given a very, if you've been given multiple messages that you need to move, please listen to it and please move. Spend time in prayer, spend time in meditation. But once you receive those signs, take action and explore and allow yourself to be fluid enough to let go. So the prayer would be for 2021 is, I only want what's in my highest and best good. And I'm willing to be patient as I allow what is in my highest and best good to step forward and reveal itself to my consciousness now. So that means that if something isn't unfolding the way you intend it to, it's going to be especially important in 2021 to slow down and come back to the prayer, very much like that traditional Christian prayer, not my will, but thy will be done. You know, traditional Christians pray that to God or to Jesus, but in our case, we would be saying higher self, you know, in communion with Sophia or God or source or, you know, whatever you call God. I know I have my ideas about how I think things are supposed to be, but please show me what is in my highest and best good for right now and for the rest of this year. Guide me in all ways. And may I be willing to take action, and to follow through on becoming a part of the answered prayer that you are guiding me to. 2021 is going to require a lot of willingness, just as 2020 did. What's so interesting for me about 2020 is that whenever I didn't follow my intuition, whenever I fought my intuition, the feedback loop was far more immediate and uncomfortable than ever before. And what that taught me was I must live in my intuition. I must do what I know in my heart is right for me in every present moment, regardless of what anyone thinks about it. I must continue to follow my heart. I must continue to co-create with the Ascended Masters and with my higher self, no matter what this world thinks of it. I must continue forward. And that is, you know, that kind of willingness teaches us the truth of who we really are, regardless of how challenging the outer circumstances may feel. And 2021 is going to be both a sharpening of that discernment and that skill set of our intuition. But what I also feel and see and know from Hathor is that those of us who are willing to really stay that course and show up to our practices of faithfulness and pro-action and willingness to accept and receive our highest and best good, there are many, many blessings ahead that are going to continue to make you aware of the truth that you are here to exist in a very high frequency reality on this planet that is creating, it is birthing a world, a sovereign world. That no matter what's happening here on this earth plane, no matter how many millions of souls decide they're going to live in some sort of far than less than ideal reality, you are still existing in a reality where not only are your needs getting met, but you are thriving. You are succeeding. You are a blesser. You are a way shower. You are choosing to live in the radiance of your soul's light, and your outer world reflects that as well. People wonder, why are they so blessed? How is she or he? Why are they living that charmed life? It's not a charmed life. It's a willing life. It's a life of living in alignment with a higher source, a source consciousness, a radiance of God that created this planet and created all planets and all the universes. When you align yourself with the radiance of who you really are in that communion, all things are possible. And when we have, which we do, an international community of light workers choosing every day to explore what it means to live as sovereign creators in this very dualistic and polarized world, we are revealing to those who are spiritually awakening what is possible. We are the living bridges. We are the sacred flames of faith that guide others back into God's country, which, by the way, they've never left. But through the nightmare of separation, through the illusion, the disillusionment, through the division, they have fallen asleep. Everything in the physical matrix has been inverted to divide us and to divide ourselves against ourselves. So from one another and from ourselves, from our own intuition, from our own hearts, from our own direct connection to source. And the Sophia Code is a sacred text that came to us at this time that says no more. Mother Mary shares in her chapter, it's like the separation between humanity and divinity has gone on for far too long. And so on this solstice, I'm witnessing all of the Hathors encircling you and uplifting you in their powerful songs and their activations, the frequency, the sound waves that are being sung over each and every person on this prayer call. It's astounding. Different rays and colors of light and geometries of light that are coming forward from the resonance of their prayers and their blessings over you. And I welcome your higher self to begin to download new thoughts, new ideas, a new perception as generated by your divine genome, the very divine genome that exists within every cell of your body, that the sacred geometric thought forms, the perfect thought forms of your own sovereign divinity to begin to imprint upon your human awareness. The depth and the breadth of your highest potential, walking through the temple gates of this solstice as the gods and goddesses in human form that we are, so that anyone who comes in contact with us, they know with all certainty that there is another reality that they could choose in this lifetime, in this year. No matter what's happening with elections or changes of regimes around the world, there is a free people. There is a sovereign people. There is a joy-filled people. There is a radiant people. People that are actually angels dressed up as humans, that we are here. And we are extending our hands and our hearts. But we will not punish ourselves, and we will not turn against ourselves as we extend our hands to those who may be hurting or shamed or traumatized. We stand as the bridge and we welcome them to walk step by step with their own 2 feet and their own 2 hands on their own heart to make the choice for themselves. We are here to teach people how to fish, not to hand them a fish. And as we do so, we honor the sovereignty, the sovereign choices of our brothers and sisters in this world that, suffering is a sovereign choice. It's a choice to learn one way or another. Choosing success, choosing your happiness, choosing your healing, it's a sovereign choice. So this time, I really feel Hathor calling in that incredible spirit of discernment, the Holy Spirit of discernment, activating us both personally and collectively, along with the Holy Seraphim, the Sophia Dragons coming forward to activate our critical thinking to an entirely new level. There's the critical thinking that's earth plane based, where we're able to decipher what is good for our bodies, for our minds, for our hearts, what we're going to take into our bodies, the choices we're going to make for our bodies, for our children, for our family, for our homes, for our work. There's also a discernment about the spiritual warfare that's happening on this planet. And so this Holy Spirit of discernment, we're calling it forward to baptize each and every one of us in the solstice portal, so that when someone is lying to your face, you no longer doubt yourself when you know the truth about what they're saying to you. And that when someone is trying to convince you of something that is simply untrue, that the truth of what is really happening is going to simply download into your consciousness beyond your understanding. that in the coming days and months and years, that the truth that you know in your heart and that you can feel rolling off of your tongue, and the truth that is guiding you to live in ever increasing amounts of truth, like an authentic, lucid, awakened reality of truth, where we're no longer hiding from ourselves or from each other, where we are okay and we are allowing our heroic human journey to be a journey and not some destination of perfectionism that we shame one another with. Like this God's country of sovereignty that we are birthing together, it is a land of truth, and all truth is based on love, divine love. And so our final prayer for this closing of 2020 and the opening of 2021, as we prepare our hearts to open to 2021, is the willingness to always ask ourselves, whatever we're being told, whatever we're being presented, that we have the power to critically think for ourselves. Is what is being said to me, or is what is happening before me, is this based in divine love, or is it based in fear? And we welcome that beautiful angel of discernment to be with you in the coming days and months and years, that it's safe to ask that question. It's safe to ask that question. The censors, the government controls, they would have you not ask that question, but it's okay and it's safe and it is good for you to ask this question through the power of your higher self. When you ask the question, is this based in divine love or is this based in fear? That's how you're going. That's a guidance system for 2021. Because anything that you can feel in your heart, that you can feel in your body, that has a foundation of divine love, that's how you're going to know that you're on the most empowered path in this new year. The most empowered path of your highest potential and the success that you want to embody. And when I say success, yes, you can include financial success in that, but I'll tell you what, living life in harmony and balance, both professionally and personally, with your loved ones and your family and your colleagues, it's like, so, may we also be blessed with the discernment of a much more expanded understanding of the word success. Like my anyone else's success is your success as well. It's our success. So as you step forward in this year, asking yourself and committing to be like a servant of divine love for yourself and for this life. It's like you're always going to be at the right place at the right time. You're always going to be guided to the opportunities because you're no longer going to be fighting yourself. And that's really what we're laying down here at the end of 2020, the fight against ourselves. The outer world, it can continue to rage against itself for as long as it wants, but you've decided at the end of 2020, it's clear to me that the only way to succeed is when I love myself enough to be on my own team and to only choose the intuitive decisions that lead me to more divine love, not less, that lead me to more faith and more willingness and more courage and more love, not fear. And so I'm welcoming all of the key codes of the Sophia Dragon Tribe to come together in a unified field so that you can feel the expansion of your soul, celebrating the victories of this year, opening your heart to divine love, guiding your every step, your every breath, and your consciousness to continue to expand as a way shower of radiant Christ light in 2021, or also known as radiant Buddha light or radiant Sophia light. and feeling how that central sun within you, that sun of your soul, is seeking to chart a course right here and right now for how you're going to walk through the New Year's portal, how you're going to step into next year. Like, feel how the rays of the sun are pulsing through every cell of your arms, and feel your arms extending out, and feel a super highway of navigational points across the landscape of 2021. It's already being charted for you on this solstice. And Hathor is stepping forward, and she's bringing her hand to your heart, and she's saying, choose the highest path and see the connection points between this solstice right now in December 2020, spanning all the way out to December 2021. We're doing some future tracking here, quantum tracking. And feel your arms and your legs begin to step upon that quantum timeline with Hathor. It's like, for anyone who's here to serve this angelic mission of awakening humanity, it's important to really remember you are blessed. You are provided for. You are being guided. And this great contrast between that incredible Jupiter expansive influence that's happening on the solstice, along with the contractions of that Saturn influence, it's like, it's just helping us lay all of the crap down that would keep us from us. Just like all of the self-sabotage, the low self-esteem, the self-shaming, the turning against yourself. It's got to end so we can live entirely in our sovereignty. I'm going to read in closing a passage from Mother Mary in honor of her incredible legacy of love that we honor at this time of year. This is on page 177 of the Sophia Code. Mother Mary says, religious texts recount the story of my son Jesus being tempted in the desert of his initiations. And I speak on behalf of my son and the entire council that the greatest temptation you repeatedly face is to turn away from your true self. Indeed, all temptations can be summarized as a turning away from your heart and abandoning the authentic, direct connection to your own divine guidance. I have to understand, that's what the contrast of 2020 taught us. Like, we are just no longer going to turn away from ourselves anymore. We are choosing this amazing golden quantum timeline that's before us. The Hathor is mentoring us in how to accept just how good it can get, even as the past is burning down to the ground. We can remain in a blessed state of grace and success. This is my prayer for you on this solstice. This is my prayer for you always. To know your sovereign divinity so intimately that you can trust its radiance to change and transform every cell in your body and every facet of your relationship with life. So that when you feel yourself within every present moment, you're capable of seeing all of the blessings that can easily unfold in your life through this communion with who you really are. I want to thank each and every one of you for your exceptional commitment to embodying the teachings of the Sophia Code, embodying your higher self, mentoring with the Ascended Masters, and our journey through 2020 together. It's been such a blessing and an honor to witness our shared and collective growth, our willingness to stand together, our willingness to serve together, and our willingness to lead together. Thank you for joining me this evening, and I look forward to being together with you quite soon for our Hathor Ankh of Life ceremony. If you haven't signed up for the Hathor Ankh of Life ceremony, you can learn more on my website. We're really, really excited about the activations that are going to be coming through, as well as all of the past life and future life healing that we're going to be receiving with Hathor in preparation for 2021. And if you'd like to learn more, you can visit my website at kaiara.com, KAIARA.com. I hope you all have a very safe and beautiful holiday season. Please remember that the Ascended Masters are here for you. Um, I know that during the holiday season, emotions can run high. It can feel like a roller coaster sometimes. And all you need to do in any moment is just simply ask for help. Like, please help me. There's ever a moment that feels too intense for you or that you need support pivoting in. The Ascended Masters, Sophia, the Sophia Dragons, your higher self, all of these divine ones, all of these masters of light, including the master that you are within your own heart, will help you pivot with that simple prayer. And I look forward to sharing more with you. I'm going to be doing several Facebook Lives, so stay tuned for those announcements. And yes, a very, very blessed solstice to each and every one of you. Thank you for receiving today's transmission. I look forward to seeing you at the Hathor Uncle Life ceremony. All my love to you. Namaste.